Hello everyone, my name is Eduardo Sánchez García and I am going to present the work titled Knowledge Creation and Diffusion in Specialized Environments. What are the factors involved? I have developed this work along with my colleagues of the Department of Business Organization of the University of Alicante, Bartolomé Marco Lajara, Pedro Seba La Rosa and Javier Martínez Falcó. The structure of this presentation is the following. Firstly, I am going to introduce the subject of the study. Then, I highlight the importance of the subject matter and the objective of this work. On the fourth paragraph, I explain the methodology used and hereunder I present the results obtained. Finally, I state the conclusions developed, the limitations and suggestions for future investigation and the bibliography used for this presentation. Nowadays, firms face an extremely dynamic environment due to different factors as accelerated development of new technologies, lowering of international trade barriers, growing complexity of the markets, high levels of specialization and competitiveness, and uncertainty about the future evolution of the economy, among others. So, based upon the foregoing, firms must make great efforts continuously to increase their productivity and competitiveness in order to grow or at least survive. This means they have to identify, develop, and or access to new factors of competitiveness. According to the importance of the subject matter, knowledge and innovation are key factors in business competitiveness. Thus, it is necessary to identify the main sources from which firms are able to increase their knowledge base and improve their innovative performance. So, the primary aim of this work is to identify the main factors that affect the degree of generation and use of knowledge from the environment by companies, and, consequently, their innovative performance and competitiveness. Particularly, this work focuses on two tools available to companies that, according to the literature, allow them to increase their knowledge base and their level of specialization in an efficient and effective way. The first one is territorial agglomeration of companies and other agents linked to a main industry in a cluster. The second one, the absorptive capacity of the firms. With regard to the methodology, the 13 most cited works have been selected from Web of Science database, using the equation shown, for the period from 2000 to 2018. Once analyzed, they have been grouped in 7 blocks according to the similarity of their main objective. Subsequently, their conclusions have been examined in order to identify the main factors proposed as drivers of the degree of generation and use of knowledge from the environment by companies. According to the results, this is the distribution in 7 blocks of the 30 works analyzed. Through the analysis of the previous works, we have identified 18 sources of knowledge and innovation. Geographic, cognitive, and technological proximity have a positive effect on the degree of interaction, cooperation, trust, social capital, and development and diffusion of innovation, as well as on entrepreneurial opportunities. It favors the combination of knowledge resources related to the same technological path and, with it, the creation of value and the generation of sustainable competitive advantages. Absorptive capacity. It is essential for the effective exploitation of external knowledge to take advantage of the complementarities between internal and external resources in the processes of social interaction and collective learning from which knowledge is disseminated. Social capital. Through the building of mutually beneficial relationships, the members of a network share resources and cooperate, which positively influences their innovative performance and competitiveness. Pipelines. Geographically dispersed sources of knowledge positively influences the acquisition of new knowledge as well as the local path, learning processes and the development of innovations. previous collaborative experience. It increases the possibilities of collaboration between university and industry, besides among firms. Research and development efforts have a positive impact on the innovative performance of companies and increase their knowledge base and absorptive capacity. Information and communication technologies. Its effective use results in a benefit for all economic operators and business associations. They play a mediating role in university-industry cooperation. Degree of attractiveness of companies have a decisive influence on the establishment of cooperation agreements. Gatekeepers. Public research organizations act as knowledge gatekeepers to a greater extent than private ones. Knowledge codification. Generate new opportunities to combine and absorb knowledge. Fear of knowledge leaks. Companies need to understand that the potential benefits of cooperation are greater than the potential risks. Knowledge nodes. To learn, companies can vary the links between knowledge nodes in addition to increase their number. Joint exploitation of internal and external resources. The more intense, the better results on the innovative performance of the firm. Degree of integration of the company in the cluster. It favors the acquisition of knowledge as well as cooperative relations with companies and other agents which belong to the cluster. Ability to create new value for customers. It mainly depends on three types of skills: the absorptive capacity and the organizational and relational competencies. Organizational culture. An organizational culture that is innovative, proactive, that rewards risk-taking, promotes multidisciplinarity coordination, and aligns with organizational and relational processes enhances the firm's absorptive capacity. Origin and evolution of clusters. Companies located in clusters with a high degree of heterogeneity show a better performance over time than those located in permanent and relative homogeneous clusters. Based on the results, we developed the following conclusions. Geographical and cognitive proximity allows the generation of links between companies and other agents, from which certain cooperative competitive relationships are generated. As a result, a series of synergies arise from the complementarities of resources and capabilities available to the participants, and the flow of valuable information and knowledge, from which innovations of various kinds can be generated, increases as confidence among the actors increase. However, it is the firm's internal characteristics which allow them to absorb new knowledge from the environment and increase their knowledge base continually. In this way, the absorptive capacity could lead to an increase in its innovative potential, which, in turn, would have effects on its degree of competitiveness. As a result of the exploration of several works focused on the analysis of absorptive capacity, its determinants could be summarized as follows. At an internal level, the organizational characteristics and the knowledge base. At an external level, the characteristics of the agents, of the surrounding environment, and their linkages. At both levels, the cognitive factors. In this way, through the combination of external and internal knowledge to the company, both tacit and explicit, companies are able to increase their innovative performance, competitiveness, and create value for the clients. Thus, clusters could favor the development of the absorptive capacity of its members, due to its characteristics, cooperative, competitive environment. In addition, social capital and the establishment of social networks favor the access to new resources and capabilities, through the establishment of mutually beneficial relationships which positively affect the absorptive capacity, innovative performance, and competitiveness of firms. The specialization of the members of a cluster in a main industry, trust between its members generated by continuous interaction, and geographical proximity, and the existence of shared norms, values, and objectives could foster the building of specialized networks. Thus, there is a compendium of factors affecting the degree of use of knowledge from the business environment within a cluster. Large amount of communication channels among firms and other agents. Higher degree of inter-firm cooperation that fosters joint efforts in different activities. Existence of a great amount of gatekeepers that favor the dissemination of knowledge. Specialized knowledge management from the perspective of internal resources and capabilities. Trust and cognitive proximity. The dynamics of the operation and evolution of clusters with respect to the main industry. High degree of specialization of firms in one or more activities of the value chain. And wide range of specialized knowledge networks. There is a consensus that knowledge is a key factor for firms' innovative performance and competitiveness, as well as for the growth and prosperity of the society. With regard to the suggestions for future investigation, we propose the following research model, by which we will try to determine the effect of belong to a cluster on innovative performance of the firms, and the mediating effect of absorptive capacity and social capital in this relation. Regarding the limitations of the work, the analysis has been carried out on a small sample of 30 articles obtained from a given search equation and a single database. This is why the nature of this study lacks the necessary breadth to draw determining conclusions, although it does shed light on the subject under study and helps to clarify, as far as possible, the relationship between cluster membership, absorptive capacity, and innovation performance, as well as the influence of other determining factors on the explanatory capacity of each of the constructs. Here you can see the bibliography used in this presentation. And that concludes the presentation. Thank you for your attention.